more than what can we say but live for the day. ROC. Now, a lot of males will say, I'm just jumping straight into this shit. Isaiah 3:12, go read it yourself. I ain't got time for that. And remember, everything's precept on precept, line on line. So don't just read the whole chapter of Isaiah 12 and think you got the understanding. It's talking about a certain group of people and how they are ruled over or oppressed by their youth and ruled over by women. And you can say what you want to say and try to apply it to the whole entire world, but it's talking to a certain group of people who have been cursed. So we're going to break this shit down a little bit, because the men feel like they're at war with the women, and they feel like they got to point the finger at the women. They feel like the only way is to point the finger at the women. And if they don't point the finger at the women, then who else is there to blame? See, they don't want to blame themselves, so they got to point the finger at the women. It's the same thing the females are doing. Now, you could say that, look what happens when single mothers raise kids. And that's fine, that's true. Look what happens. It's not a good thing, right? It's not a good thing at all. But what you got to realize is, a man got that woman pregnant, man. You can't just blame it on the female. Now, I'm not giving the woman a pass, but you can't just blame it on the female. That's the problem with the men, I think. I think we think that we can just blame the shit on the female and not take accountable for what we done wrong. This shit ain't working. I try to get that one thing to stand, but it don't work. Anyways, man, no matter how you look at it, a male got that woman pregnant. Yes, I agree. When kids get raised in a single parent household, or should I say, when a mother is raising the kids, it could be all bad. That is what the biggest problem is with the so-called black community, if you want to be honest. You know what I mean? All the other races still have some type of male structure to a certain extent, so they're not on their last leg. They might not be perfect, but at least they got some type of male structure usually. So there's still some type of hope there. But when it comes to the black community, there is no male in the place. There's no male there. And you could say, and a lot of y'all gonna say, well, it's the black woman. Well, even when it comes to Becky, she still ended up a single mother a lot of times. And a lot of it just boils down to simply this, and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. When it comes to being a black guy, a lot of the time, the reason why these women like us is bad shit. It's toxic shit. It's poison shit. So by default, they like bad black dudes or toxic black dudes, you know what I mean? Or toxic situations, which brings toxic results. You ever notice them say, you get tired of Pookie and Ray Ray, go get you the so-called white guy. They don't say go get you a good black dude. No. Don't go get a good black dude. They say go get you a good white guy. Why? Because truth be told, it's rare that these women desire good black dudes for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a curse. I don't know what it is. It could be a blessing in disguise by the Most High. I don't know. But I do know this. You have the power to not get a woman pregnant. Don't sleep with a woman that you don't think qualifies for you to sleep with her. So even if you did accidentally get her pregnant, the rubber popped, because I know that excuse is always coming up. I've heard it too many times. Okay, but at least if the rubber did pop, it popped on a woman that I felt was worthy of fucking. At the end of the day, the world is yours as a man. These women can't dictate nothing. For real? When you're a man on your shit and you stand on your square, these women can't dictate nothing. You could point the finger at them and say, well, this is why that happened and this is why that happened. But that's not what a leader do. Leaders take responsibility for their decisions. And that's what men got to start doing. But Tuan, these women don't want to act right and they want to do this and that. Then don't talk to them. Don't deal with them. Don't fuck them. The world is yours. You got the power. Why are you giving up the power? So either way you slice this shit about the single mothers and that's why this is happening and that is happening, it still took a man to get that woman pregnant. It doesn't matter if he's a bad guy or not. It still was a man. So at the end of the day, why are we just pointing a finger at a female? Blaming the female when the male had something to do with it just as much. Does that give a woman a pass? No. But we can't control what women do. We can control what we do. We can control what women we deal with. You ain't gonna change the world. You ain't gonna make all these so-called bad bitches act like good women. It's not meant. The three-fourths of the so-called Israelites, let alone three-fourths of the females in the whole entire world, is going to be led astray. It's over with. Done. Nailed in the coffin. Your job is to not deal with those type of females. That includes not fucking them, but they're good enough to fuck. Well, this is where the problem comes in. That's what the last guy said that got some girl pregnant that didn't mean to get her pregnant. She was good enough to fuck, but I ain't really want her. Now you don't want the kid. This is a problem. Men gotta wake the fuck up. Try not to sleep with a woman. I'm gonna say try because nobody's perfect. Try not to sleep with women that you don't want or who don't qualify as mothers. You got to look for more in a woman than just looks and sex, man. Or you can pay the Piper and cry and say it's all woman's fault. Because these women, they're going to keep arguing, they're going to keep disagreeing with you, and they're going to keep doing the shit they do. So it's up to you as a man to move a certain way and don't deal with them. It's like picking through bad apples. A lot of these females don't respect men because okay, they was raised by a single bitter mother, whatever. All right, but guess what? What if men only got women pregnant that was women that was worth, because a lot of men are going to say this. Well, the woman ran the guy off. You know what I mean? See, it's always an excuse going back to the women, just like the women always got an excuse going back to the men. It's the same thing. And the reason why I make videos like this is because in order to stop this shit, everybody has to start making videos like this. Everybody has to be held accountable. Both genders have to be held accountable. You can't just hold one gender accountable and then expect the other one to get it right or comply with the other gender. It's never going to happen. So both people have to be held accountable. And this ain't no simping and none of that. This ain't going to get me no fucking pussy or none of that. If anything, it probably make women not want to fuck with me, if anything, especially since most women are on bullshit. You know what I mean? Because I'm calling them out for the choice of men they make. But as men, we got a choice to make in women too. We got to choose the right women too. So this shit goes both ways. You know what I mean? Everybody want to say keep it real and talk about this and talk about that, but don't nobody really want to get into the meat and potatoes of this shit, man. They really don't want to talk about that elephant in the room. They just want to talk to make it sound good and shit. Or what feels good to their feelings and their ears instead of what really needs to be talked about. And that is, it's both genders' fault, man. And as the man, we're the leader, so you could point the finger, but you're the leader. Imagine me owning a business and it fails and I point that finger at the people beneath me. I'm the leader, but I'm going to point the finger at the workers and all this and all that. Even if it was their fault. Even if it was because the workers gave poor customer skills, and that's why my business failed. At the end of the day, I chose those workers. At the end of the day, I chose those workers. So at the end of the day, you chose those women. One of the biggest problems with men is we act like it doesn't matter what women we pick. Kind of like what women do. That's why they're in the position they're in right now. They really think, or at least their actions show that they think that it doesn't matter what kind of men they pick. There's no consequence, there's no nothing. And I like him the most, my pussy tingles, I'm picking him. And look what happens. You can't just pick a woman because you're aroused. It's got to be more than that, man. Because the right woman's going to make you aroused too, but you minus the headache, minus the fucking child support, minus all that bullshit. More than likely anyway. Ain't nothing guaranteed, but you better your chances. And I do know this. If you screen out a woman right, and you can tell that she's a good mother and all that, at least you know that your kids will be raised a decent way. I forgot to touch on the topic about these women don't respect men because they don't have a man, they didn't have a man to look up to respect. So again, we can point the finger at the female and say it's the woman's fault, the broken home, you know, the woman, the single mother raising these kids, look at the product result of it. Yeah, you're right. But guess what? Where's the man at? Where's the guy that got the girl pregnant? But one, they choose losers. Still was a man that they chose. You still have to point the finger at men. You can't just, even if it is that they picked the bad men, you still got to point that finger at the men too. I'm not saying you can't point the finger at women, because you can. They're wrong too, but you can't ignore the fact that even if she picked bad boys and that's what happened, it still was a guy. It still was a guy that perpetrated this shit and left the girl single parent. It still had something to do with the guy. So you can't just point the finger at the female. But she's the gatekeeper to sex, dog. That's whatever. I know all that bullshit. But guess what? The man's a gatekeeper to himself. A man ain't, what, a woman put a gun to the guy's head because she got a vagina and she's the gatekeeper to sex. She put a gun to that dude's head and said, don't fuck me with a rubber and get me pregnant. Nah, she didn't. So at the end of the day, if you men want to say I'm the leader, treat me as a leader, then you got to take responsibility as a leader. I just get tired of hearing, oh, the woman this and the woman that, knowing deep down inside that some man got her pregnant. And it doesn't matter why they broke up or whatever. Fact of the matter is, where's the dad in the kid's life? That's what I want to know. Doesn't matter. I'm so tired of seeing this shit. You can't even pick a woman because a lot of these dudes have chose to get this woman pregnant, that woman pregnant, that woman pregnant. Now there's no women who ain't got to deal with this baby daddy drama shit. But y'all only point the finger at the female for this. It's the man's fault too. What's the difference between a man getting pregnant by this one, and this one, and men pregnating this one, and this one? Not a fucking thing. Nothing. Y'all ain't ready for this conversation though. So you want to know why a lot of these females don't respect men? Well, okay, they was raised by a single mother. You can pull that all you want, and I'm not saying that's not true. But where is the dad to be respected? Where's the dad at, man? How can these little girls even know what a man is when there's no dad to even show them? That's why a lot of them don't even pick a good dude, because where is the dad to represent, okay, this is the type of guy I should be looking for. Like my dad. My dad does this, he stands on this, and he means this, and he means that. I think that's what kind of guy I want. Now, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes they got their dad, and they still pick dumbass dudes. I get it. But it betters your chances. None of this shit is guaranteed, but it betters the chances than the fact that there's no dad in the home and there's no dad to look up to for these females. That's why they don't respect men type shit. They would respect us way more if they had dudes in the home to look up to. Or at least in their life. Because sometimes shit don't work. At least in their life. So it goes back, all this shit goes back to some man not stepping up and being the father, somehow, some way. Why? Because you're the leader. A person who fails in a business does not point the finger at the worker. You chose those workers. Even if those workers are the reason why you ultimately lost your business, you still chose those workers. No way around it. You're the leader, right? Ain't that what people pound in their chest and say, I'm the man, I'm the leader? Well, step the fuck up and be the leader about it. You fucking up. Gotta do better as men. I don't want to hear that she's the gatekeeper to sex. How is a woman going to force me to fuck her? She can't. I'm the gatekeeper to myself. She might be the gatekeeper ultimately to if somebody going to fuck her, right? But so am I. So am I. But the problem is, you dudes get gassed up over how many women you can fuck. That's the issue. That's the biggest issue with males. You think there's no consequence to this shit, but there really is. The only way I can see the only way I'm saluting a man for fucking a lot of women, which y'all call, you know, this player type shit, is if they some top solid chicks, man. If they not, then I don't know what the fuck he doing. I really don't. You just fucking a whole bunch of women that other men are fucking. Like, what's the point of that? Like, you want to be saluted for fucking a lot of women? Then make sure they all top, not solid. And I ain't talking about just looks. I mean, all who she is as a woman. But you can't do that, can you? Because solid, top-notch chicks ain't having that shit. They going to sniff out the bullshit, and they not going to put up with the bullshit. But you already know that, don't you? Everything seems to be pointed all back at the black woman, or women in general, but mainly the so-called black woman. Everybody want to point the finger at the black woman this, the black woman that. When are you going to take some responsibility for the shit you're doing? Because even Becky's, so-called Becky's, still be single mothers and shit. And like I said, I understand that when it comes to black men, most of these women don't like good black men. They like you because of toxic shit and drama and this and that. And it's unfortunate. But still, it still was a man. It's not about, see, that my thing is this, it's not about a woman or even a man. It's about a problem. But y'all don't see it that way. All y'all see is the woman, the woman, the woman. What about the man? What did he do? It don't matter if he's the bad boy. It doesn't matter. It still was a male. So how the fuck is it just women? No, it's a problem in general. And even so-called Becky gets left a single mother. Why? Because unfortunately, when it comes to most females, they only like black men off of toxic bullshit, negative bullshit. It is what it is. I don't, it's because of the so-called world and the media, movies and all that shit have painted us to be a certain way. So when women see these movies and shit, that makes their pussy wet. So that's what they go look for in reality. Out in the real world, I want the guy that talks like this and nigga, nigga, nigga. It is what it is, man. But guess what? Even through all of that, as a man, you still have the power to not give these women the power. You ain't gotta fuck them. If they thinking like that this is why they like black men, why are you fucking with them? Why? Why do you even care about women who like black men because of that dumb shit? That don't even make sense. You like black men because of bullshit and toxic bullshit? Well, I'm not that guy, so therefore I could care less. You know what I mean? I could care less about you. Why would I even be sweating you? You don't like men like me. So why the fuck would I sweat you? See, there's no excuse. Everybody got every excuse in the book, and I got a counteract excuse for all them excuses. You know what I mean? You are the leader, right? Ain't that what y'all say? I'm going to keep saying it. You say you're the leader, then be a leader. Take responsibility. Stop trying to push that shit off on the fucking female. Because you can't control what these women think or what they do. They're going to do what they want to do. They're going to like who they want to like. They're going to suck and fuck who the fuck they want to suck and fuck. But you can control what you do. You can control what type of women you want to deal with or who you want to fuck. Maybe maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Maybe if I only fucked with women who are solid, even if we didn't work out, I wouldn't have to worry about my daughter being raised with this toxic bullshit, men ain't shit. Because the woman I chose doesn't have those characteristics. Just maybe that might help. But then again, you know what? Nah, we don't want to do that because it's all about how many women I could fuck. I'm the man. Well, you're not the man unless you fuck. The only way I must give you that card is if you fucking top-notch chicks. That's the only way. But if you just fucking women just cause, you're not the man. You're not the man, bro. Either you gonna do it, if you gonna go the player route, you got better pick solid chicks. Either way, if you choose to be a player or you choose to be a so-called one-woman man, you better pick a solid chick. Nowhere around this shit. Nowhere around this shit, man. But ain't nobody trying to hear that. And a lot of y'all, you constantly scream, I'm sick of this shit too. I'm so happier with Becky and this and that. Bullshit. I mean, shit, sometimes, maybe, right? Maybe, sometimes, it's very possible. But if you're just saying because you got a different race woman that you're so much happier, I call bullshit. Now, maybe if you said, you know, the last girl I was with, she happened to be my race and she seemed to be a bad woman. Now I got me a good woman that's a different race. I could give you that. But y'all not doing that, man. Y'all steadily trying to down black women because you're mad because you like the wrong type of black women, period. Or women in general, period. So even if you like bad black women and you go to Becky and you still like the same type of women, you're still going to get the same type of results. I don't give a fuck who told you differently. Trust me, I know. It don't matter what color the woman is. If you like the same type of women, that goes for the women too who think I'm going to get a different color woman or man, shall I say. You know what I mean? Notice a lot of black females. If you're tired of Gerard and Krishan or whatever, get you a white dude. Yeah, and if you get a white dude that is like Rashard and what's his name, you're going to get the same results. And if you get a white dude that's a good one and you are still moving the same way as a woman, he going to leave you. So either way, you got to pick somebody good and you got to become a good person. There's no way around this shit. Y'all keep trying to find a different way around this shit, but there is no way around it. You got to become a better person and you got to pick better people. No way around it. Brian McKnight situation, not hip. I'm not hip. All I know is, man, look, man, it's not just the woman's fault. To me, I don't even blame the woman. Even though I could, it's kind of like my relationships. I could blame the exes for shit. Like, there's a lot of shit I literally could say, yeah, they did me dirty right there and this and that, but I'm not even going to blame them. What's the point of blaming them when that's going to just cloud my mind of me becoming a better person and looking at what I could have done better and how I could have picked better? That's why I don't care about it. It's irrelevant. Now the only thing I need to do is figure out how to pick better and become a better person, even better person than what I was. All that pointing the finger they did, that's irrelevant. It's only irrelevant when it comes to deciphering who the fuck I should choose. But just to point the finger, that shit is irrelevant. Same thing applies when it comes to this black woman shit. I see what the fuck they're doing. And I don't fuck with them. You want a black dude like me, you're going to have to come a different way. Plain and simple. But they don't care, Twan. They'll just get the sense. Then let them go get them. But you don't let yourself get hung by the sword because they want to fall by the fucking sword. That's their problem. That's their life. They're going to regret it. You just make sure you're not the one that's going to regret it. Men need to look in the mirror, man. And not just on an individual level. As a gender. You want to know one of the biggest kryptonites to females? Is not looking at other females and holding females accountable. That's their biggest kryptonite. Why? Because the more that women deny or say you're bashing all women, it gives women free comfort, and should I say a shield, to keep doing the shit they're doing, which is just going to make more men more mad at women and say, fuck it, I'm just going to fucking leave them alone. But women, you can't tell certain women this, even the good ones, they don't get it. They don't get that the bad women are really the ones that's really fucking up for you the most. But what do? They point the finger at the man. They point the finger at the man. They don't look at the other women and say, you know what, y'all guys are fucking this shit up too. And when you do this with men, you just player hating. You can't get no pussy. That's what it is. No, I don't want the pussy y'all fucking. If I got to do shit like this to get that pussy, I don't want it. I want pussy that gets it. A smart woman that got... I want pussy with a smart brain on her fucking mind. And her fucking body. So that's irrelevant. That pussy you talking about, that's irrelevant. Anybody can smash that. It's obvious. It's pretty fucking obvious. That's why y'all mad now. These women ain't shit, blah, 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 blah. Stop fucking with them bottom barrel females. I'd rather go without pussy for months before I deal with that shit. That's the beauty of it. The world is yours, especially as a man. The world could be the woman's too. But as a man, you got it. You God-given right. And what you're doing, you're throwing it away, giving your power away to pussy and shit. You gotta wake the fuck up, man. It's not worth it. Because they look good. Most of the women who are full of shit look good. Oh, well, you just gonna have to say, you know what, fuck them. I think I want a woman who looks decent enough for me and has all the other shit. Fuck that Barbie doll. Because that Barbie doll ain't gonna do nothing but bring you hell in the end. Deontay Wilder type shit. I always didn't like something about her. But maybe, just maybe, he was abusing her and shit. So don't get me quoted, or don't quote me and say that I don't know the situation. But if I look at it through a red pill lens, as soon as he fell down, you know what they say. Once the woman see you get your ass beat, she'll look at you the same. So I don't know. And I don't want to bear false witness. But to me, in the red pill lens, it looked like, yeah, she jumped shit when that motherfucker fell. And I ain't call it Deontay a solid dude for me. I look up to him. But once he fell, she jumped shit. But men do this shit too. They're always gonna put pussy and looks on a pedestal because, and to a certain extent, I get it. I'm not saying that it's not important. It is important, but it can't be the all be all. That's all. Just like a woman likes tall guys, fine. You like handsome guys, fine. You want a guy with money, fine. All that shit is important, but it can't be the all be all. It can't be some toxic woman or man, but you're gonna choose them just because of that. They got that. It's got to be more. You got to be willing to say, yeah, they got all that, but you know, they doing this, so I gotta just wait. I gotta wait it out. People always justify toxic behavior, just like I always say. People pick and choose who. I hate when Facebook does that shit. It's hard to see that shit, man. To apply things to. I think that's what it say. All I know is do not get caught up in this gender war shit. Both genders are wrong. Understand that. I understand men are wrong. So I'm not going to be like, man, it's just a black woman or this woman. Man, I already know what time it is. That's why I make videos like this. This ain't just a take up for the woman. This is for both people because both people are wrong. Both people are wrong. But if you want to be one of those people that want to, girl, you're right, these men ain't shit, or yeah, dog, these women ain't shit, type shit, and that's fine if you think, and I do feel that for the most part, women, when it comes to men, they ain't shit. When it comes to men, they ain't shit, but it ain't all women, and I understand why most of them are that way. I understand that men play a big part in the reason why women are moving this way. You understand? So ultimately, it's not a hate towards women, or even men for real, but I understand the dynamic of why women are moving. I understand why a woman want to play a dude for a dinner date, or why she might have an attitude towards dudes and this and that. Because most dudes just want to fuck and do all. I get it. That's why I can't turn, like Pac said, I can't turn my love off for the woman, especially knowing this shit. But a lot of men are ignorant. You're ignorant because you don't understand that, so are women, ignorantly thinking that the women are innocent or the men are innocent, and that causes you to hate the other gender. But if you understood that, damn, my gender be fucking up too. So I really can't hate the woman. It ain't even about the gender. It's about what people are doing. I don't know, man. I really don't know. When this shit get in my spirit, I just post it as a video and then I just let it be. If you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. You know what I mean? Hopefully this shit will be here forever. Even when I'm gone, younger generations can pick up on this, and hopefully it helps some people. It is what it is, man. I don't know what else to say about it. All I know is you can't change all these men, and you can't change all these women, so don't even try to. You just got to figure out who's who and avoid who's who. And a lot of times, a lot of people, they just caught up in their own lust, man. And I get it. It's hard. It's hard to ignore the woman that looks a little bit better or might allow you to fuck and this one won't type shit. But sometimes, man, it's better off to go the other route. Sometimes you might be better off getting that 7 than that 10. Or that woman that's making you wait a little bit because she don't just fuck that easy sometimes. You know what I mean? Maybe she do. And sometimes a woman still you might just be that one she like a lot. She doesn't make you wait that long. But that don't mean she fucks everybody like that. So sometimes no. But sometimes, yeah. Depend on the woman. Sometimes she might be tired she might think that you just want sex, so she's scared or some shit, but she like you a lot. It could be a lot of shit going on. Just like a lot of men might want to take you on a $500 date, but he's scared that you're just going to use him for the dinner date like a lot of other women may have done it. You know what I mean? This shit is deeper than deep. But I'm going to let y'all go, I guess. I'm going to let y'all go. I got shit to do. I'm just tired of the war. You know what I mean? The ignorant ass war. Pointing a finger at women all the time or pointing a finger at men all the time. When deep down inside, everybody fucking know that both people are wrong. You talking in circles with women and men, plotting and shit on women and men. And you have the nerve to act like it's only that gender. Stop it. Stop it, man. You have the power. Even if you're a woman, you have the power to not deal with these people. You might just have to be alone. It is what it fucking is. If you have to be alone to avoid getting played and shitted on and shit, then so be it. What's wrong with that? It ain't worth it, man. But who knows? By out of you being alone, you'll probably get somebody better. You probably stumble off somebody. It would probably be worth the wait. You want to settle. A lot of people who got people are settling. That's why relationships don't work. Because a lot of people are with people who they really didn't want to be with. If they really had a choice, they would pick somebody else. But they lie, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just settle for this. Type shit. I'm going to let y'all go for now, man. Stop pointing a finger at other genders, man. It's both of them. It's both. Everybody needs to be held accountable. Hold yourself accountable first, and then understand it's not about gender. It's about problems, spiritual warfare, actions, problems that we all face. And it's not going to get better until both genders understand that both genders are wrong, which will ultimately make them stop pointing the finger at genders and point the finger at the problems all over this motherfucker.